Okay. Still waiting. So, we are on somebody's requested that I do 7 part 5. Is that okay? So, here's what we're going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is anywhere I see a square root, I'm going to eliminate. Now, what I find it confusing here, see down here, that's actually the square root. The square root sign goes over the a cubed and the b. Does everybody see that? Now, I'm going to work on that to begin with. So, I'm going to change that to a cubed b to the power of a half. So everyone knows the square root means the power of a half. Now, the other part is the half works on the individual parts as well. So that's actually a3 to the power of a half and b to the power of a half. And what's a3 to the power of a half? A to the power of 3 halves. Is everybody alright with that being the bottom part? Any questions? The power works on both parts. Now, next part is the blue part, which is going to be a b to the power of a half, and then there's a minus 3 on the outside. Like the one we discussed previously, the minus 3 works on the a and the b respectively. So it's going to be a to the power of minus 3, and then it's going to be, you multiply, don't you? So what's minus 3 times a half? Yeah, just difficult stuff. Now I'm going to do the blue answer divided by the red answer. Now, can any of you guys remember what happens when you have one above the other? You subtract, don't you? So go to the calculator and we do minus 3 minus 3 halves. And what I get is a to the power of minus 9 over 2. And then my b value is going to be what? Minus 3 over 2 minus a half, and what's that? Who got a to the power of minus 9 over 2 and b to the power of minus 2? Only Charlie and Tom, yeah? Alright, and Joe. Alright. You could also use the negative power rule as an example. X to the power of minus 5 means 1 over x 5. So I could actually change this answer into 1 over a to the power of 9 over 2 b to the power of 2. That is also an answer. Okay. Is there any other ones you'd like me to do, like 7 part 6 or something like that? Yeah, lads, just ask me. I'll do them. Like, it's no big deal. Alright, if anything we're going too fast, so would you pull me up and ask me to do stuff? Alright, what can we do with this one here? What does the 4 mean on the outside? What's the rule for that? A quarter. A quarter means what number when I multiply it by itself 4 times will give me the number inside the bracket. What's this then? Anybody? X cubed to the power of a half. Now what's the 2 rules here? Anybody? Multiplication, isn't it? So what's 7 times a quarter? And what's 3 times a half? And what's 7 over 4 take away 3 over 2? Was it? X power quarter. Who got X power quarter last night? Alright. Only 3 of us got that. You get it? Yeah, 4 of us got it, so we're needing a bit of practice here. Is there any other ones you want me to do? 7 part 4 maybe? Alright, I got my eyes for 7 part 4. Right, I'll do 7 part 4 and then I'll go on my merry way. Alright. Now, there's a rule for these ones, right? If I have a fraction and I have a power on the outside, like that, yeah? The power works on the top and the bottom. Everybody sees that? How does that affect what we have here then? It's going to be y minus 2 to the power of, and then on the bottom, power of 2/3. There's actually more than one way to do this, by the way. Right, I'll show you in a second. Now, what's minus 2 multiplied by 2/3? Minus 4 over 3. And the bottom one? Huh? Minus 3. When you multiply minus 3 by 2/3. You take the top one, take away the bottom one, isn't it? Minus 4 over 3 minus 3. Does anybody get y to the power of 8 over 3? When you put that into, sorry, no, not 8 over 3. 5 over 3. Huh? Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Minus 3 times 2/3 is minus 2. So it's minus 4 over 3 minus 2. My fault. So did anybody get an answer of 2/3? Anybody get an answer of 2/3? Alright. Anybody have a different way of doing that question? Apparently none. Yeah. Charlie, what did you do instead? Yeah, Charlie had a much easier way of doing it. Charlie did what was inside the bracket first. What can you do inside the bracket? Minus 2 minus 3, which is 1. Y to the power 1 to the power 2/3. Yeah, that was easier, wasn't it? Yeah. We all good? Okay. Handle this, okay? So, can anybody tell me what's a to the power of a half multiplied by a to the power of minus a half? Can anybody tell me? I'd say it's a to the power of 0. And what's anything to the power of 0? 1. We all cool with that? Okay, next part. What's a to the power of a half multiplied by a to the power of a half plus a to the power of minus a half? Let's try that out. What's a to the half multiplied by a to the half? What do you have to do to the powers? What's a half by a half? A to the power of 1. You add the powers. Is that alright? And what's the other part then? What's a half by a to the minus a half? And what is a0? A0 is 1. Now, what I'm arguing with you guys is, would you agree that it's all x minus 1 here, isn't it? Alright? And what I want you to do is I want you to multiply the top and the bottom by x minus 1 to the power of a half. So it's going to be x minus 1 to the power of a half multiplied by x minus 1 to the power of a half plus x minus 1 to the power of a half, sorry, power of minus a half, all divided by x minus 1 to the power of a half, but it told us to multiply the denominator as well, didn't it? Oh, right. So it told us to multiply the numerator and denominator by that amount, right? Now, can anybody tell me what's x minus 1 to the power of a half multiplied by x minus 1 to the power of a half? Yeah. It's x minus 1 to the power of 1, which is what? Just x minus 1. What's x minus 1 to the power of a half multiplied by x minus 1 to the power of minus a half? X minus 1 to the power of 0. And anything to the power of 0? 1. And on the bottom, x minus 1 to the power of a half by x minus 1 to the power of a half? X minus 1. Then what do we get here? X over x minus 1. Any of us get that last night? Alright, few of us. Now, f of n or f blank. Shh. Excuse me, lads. F blank is 3 to the power blank. Okay? Okay? Now here's what we're going to do. What happens when you put in n plus 3? What does that make it? Everybody agrees it turns into that? And what can I turn that into? 3 to the power of n by 3 to the power of 3. And what is 3 to the power of 3? Would everybody agree it's 27 3 to the power of n's? They would try that on you when you get a chance. Now what about the next one? What can I change n plus 1 into? Three n by 3 to the power of 1. And what is that? 3 by 3 to the power of n. Everybody cool with that? Let's read your question. It wants me to write f of n plus 3 first. So I'll write down 27 3 to the power of n's. 27 of these objects. Then what does it want me to do here? Take away. Take away what? 3 by 3 to the n. Equals k times fn. What is fn? Okay. What's 27 items take away 3 items? 24 of that specific item. So what's the k value? 24. Right, will you guys try 14 now? I'll do it here. Question 14. F blank equals 3 to the power of blank, take away 1. Then I control and clone this twice. Actually, I only need it once. Actually, I only need it once. Alright, I'm going to find out what n plus 3 is. So that's n plus 3. That's n plus 3. n plus 3 take away 1 is n plus 2. n plus 2 can be broken into 3 to the power of n multiplied by 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. 9 3 to the n's. Okay, so that 3 to the power of n turns into 9. Okay? Put it all in order. 9 times 3 to the power of n. Ah, here's the tricky part. Yep. I went and messed up. Sorry lads. The method I used wasn't smart. I'll show you now. Just go back a step. Just going to go back here. Sorry, the reason why I realised I made a mistake was the following. Okay? What's the problem with the powers in this case? Well, technically didn't make a mistake yet. Who got to this stage here? Did anybody get here? What's the main issue at the moment? Would you agree that the powers are unrelatable at the moment? You can't really relate the powers to each other. Would you agree with that? Now, here's my suggestion. You change 3 to the power of n into what? 3 to the power of n by 3 to the power of minus 1. And what is 3 to the power of minus 1? A third. A third. So is everybody happy with a third 3 to the power of n? And this is going to be k times a third 3 to the power of n. Okay? Now, here's the question you got to ask yourself now. What's 9 of them plus 1/3? 9 of them plus 1/3 is how much? How many? 28 over 3 to the n. What's k times a third? What's the k value? 28. The main problem with that question was the power of n wasn't compatible with the n minus 1. So I had to change n minus 1 into n to make them compatible with each other. Okay? I'd advise you go over that again tonight. Is there any specific question you want